Alright guys, so this is where the actuator would sit right here, which I've taken off. As you can see, there's the bolts there, and then the actual flap is down there, but let me just show you where the actuator goes. So that's the actuator that's come off. Take the power connector off, and then you'll need to take off, let's move this glove, you need to take this bracket off which sits just there. There's two screws there and a single screw there. You want to take all three screws off. You can then take this nut out on the inside. That on my one, that's already welded on, so that doesn't come off. So you just screw this off. I'll take this off. You can then take this whole actuator out, disconnect the bottom part from the swivel flap, and this whole thing will come out. So what I'm doing here is replacing this rod, also replacing the piece that connects to the other end of this, which I'll show you now, and then I'll just refit it all again. And just so you, this is the little fix which stops the as this gets older over time, the actuator, as it comes down too far down, it actually loses its strength in there, comes down too far, and then you'll get an engine management light. But by putting this little fix on, it gets rid of it. But anyway, let me show you the other part. Alright, so the part I'm going to take out and replace is that part down there. Right, to give myself more room so I can get my hand down here, what I've done is, like I said, I've taken the actuator off from there, taken the bracket off from that piece there, and what I'm going to do now is, what I've done also is move this whole cabling just from slightly lower down. It used to be down there and I've just moved it up, and what I've done is I've just taken a cable tie off which sits, you can probably just see, just sits right there on this thing which I'm pointing at. Let me get that thing there, that was a cable tie. I've just moved it up. That now gives me enough room to get my hand down there, so I can make all the adjustments to the swivel flap. That's the top of it. So I'm going to take that clip out, take that plastic thing out, replace it, replace the O-rings, put the clip back on, and put the little plastic thing back on again, and then reverse the whole thing. Put the actuator back, clip it all back on. Should all be done. But like I said, make room in there by moving this cable. You can see I've taken it off the clip that's just there. Put a new cable tie on. You can see where the cable tie used to be. That'll give you enough room in there to get your hands in there. Alright guys, let me just show you what I've done. I've taken this piece out. So what happens is, that's the actuator. It will sit on the car like this. Bolts go in the top, rod goes down. This piece here, which is what I've taken out, that connects to the swivel flaps inside the intake manifold. Pop that straight out. That would obviously eventually go in there. Clip straight in. Obviously over time this gets weak, so it pops in and out. So I'm going to replace this. I'm going to replace this. This is the clip that clips this piece to the actual intake manifold, and the way it goes in is, the side view would be, it goes in that way, clips into the swivel flap rods, and this piece here, I mean, you can see this is really oily, there's loads of oil coming out, but it will go in like this, shorter end, sorry, longer end, touching the back of the intake manifold, slot straight in, but it will go in, difficult to do this with one hand, but it will go in like Let's see if I can do it this way. I'll go in like that. And go in just like that. You see that? Shorter end. Yeah, I mean, positioning wise, it'll be something like that, I think. But check it out in your own car. The gap is where it connects onto the intake manifold and it stops it from pulling in and out. Make sure you put the O-rings in. On my car, it has an O-ring here. 2 O-rings. One's a rubber one, and one's an aluminium one. And then pop the whole thing in to the intake manifold. And then reverse the whole thing. Clip that on last. Put the rods back in. Screws. Then put the bracket in first. Then put this in, the actuator, and fire up. So when you put the whole thing back, you're going to put the washer in first, the aluminium washer, and the rubber washer. So it looks like this. And that will go into the swivel flap, pop straight in. But make sure you have these in, otherwise you're going to get a underboost error. And the whole thing's going to wobble around anyway. It may not come out, but it's definitely going to wobble up and down. So make sure you put those in. This is the repair kit. You can buy these online, or you can go to a specialist, VW or Audi parts centre. But you get the new rod, the new clip, and the new plastic thing. You don't get on this kit, you don't get the washers. I had to buy those separately. But make sure that in itself, that's the full kit. So you can buy that. Right, so I've put the plastic ball back in there with the washers, and you can just see the side of the metal clip that's holding it on. I'll just get some more light down here so you can see how it fits on. I haven't quite put it on fully because I'm going to use a piece of string from underneath to lift it up, but if I show you with the mirror. Right guys, so just to show you how I got the clip fully onto this thing here, when it's inside you'll see it like this, and the clip goes in like this into the intake manifold. So what I did is, you can get your hand in underneath and push it up with your finger, but it might be a bit stiff once you've got the 2 washers on. So what I did is a piece of string, hook it around the bottom, so you're hitting this bit there, hook it around like this. When it's inside like this, you will literally have the 2 strings, hooked it underneath, and then pulled it up. So you're pulling it up and you're using the pressure, you're using the strength of the string to click this bottom bit up. You're pushing this thing up so it locks in. And it's only going to go a little bit further. So when I showed you in the previous video, it was probably sitting something like this, and it just needed to go that extra bit further. If you do it with your hand, then that's fine, but if you need the extra strength, use the string method. So I'm going to install this back on. I've already installed this piece with the washers. Put this back on, put the bolts back in, goes in like this, goes in like this, and connect this. Actually, I'm going to take this piece off, put the new one, new one on. This is new. So I can just go on. I'll connect this bit last. And that's ready to go. Alright, so putting this all back together, put the actuator back, put this first bolt in just to hold this thing together. Put this bracket back, just there. The screw goes in, tightens up, and then the other two bolts will go straight in. Lock this whole thing down. Power connection goes there, and then finally I'll connect the other end of this thing to the plastic ball down there. And that's it.